salt. Well, hello there and welcome to the channel, and in this video we are going to be talking to you about how to grow the Canary Island palm, the Phoenix canariensis. And for those who are history buffs, the reason why it's called Phoenix is because of the Phoenicians, the Mediterranean trading nation. It's so windy out here today. They were around 65 years BC, stretching back to about 2000 years BC, and they were known for planting all of these date palms around the Mediterranean basin, so they actually had a port of call to get some food to take with them on their travels. Anyway, Phoenix palms, how'd you grow them? Well, to find out, we went to the Canary Islands to see how they do it there. Perform at their best, they prefer slightly alkaline soil. Though, to be honest with you, they're so robust they will tolerate most soils, but alkaline is best, like it doesn't contain an awful amount of calcium carbonate. They like the soils to be quite deep sandy because they like the drainage. And one of the issues with them, if they're permanently waterlogged, they can be at risk to Fusarium wilt, which is a nasty soil-borne fungus that gets into the root system and then gets throughout the plant, kills it off quite easily. They're susceptible to it, so just be aware of that. Although, to be fair, you know, there's plenty of those growing in the UK, and we are renowned for cold, wet, waterlogged conditions, and they do seem to cope quite well there. But they do have a secret. A secret, or would you say that? A secret strategy, and that is they have their specialist structures on the roots. They are called pneumatodes. Pneu as in pneumatic, meaning air. So they're these special air-filled structures within the roots, so they can still have the gaseous exchange within the plant cells when conditions are very wet and they can't get air into them. Anyway, enough of that. What else do they need? They can be grown in full sun. They can be grown in semi-shade. The reason why they can be grown in semi-shade is because that's what they've evolved to do. But the problem is it a problem? They grow absolutely enormous, so they may start off in this shape, but then they are going to find the sun one way or another. And why is that? Because they grow really big. Most specimens can grow between about 10 and 20 meters tall, although there are specimens out there which are known to have reached about 40 meters tall. So that's absolutely enormous. So be aware, you might start it off in the shade. You might buy that little plant in a pot thinking, oh, that's cute, that'll fit quite nicely, and then 30 years down the line it's 6 foot tall and you're thinking, what have I done? So just be aware of that. They do get big. Plant them responsibly, make sure you've got enough space for them. They are not suitable for your English suburban front garden. Flies. When it comes to watering, consider the plant to do best in a Mediterranean style environment. Now, I know the Canary Islands aren't the Mediterranean, but they are subtropical and do or can have a lot of water on some of them, like Madeira. No, it's not. I know technically it's not a Canary Island, but it's at the top of them. They like to have either wet winters or wet summers, but certainly a certain amount of rain to sustain them, because you know they have a lot of foliage. When it gets really hot, they need to regulate their temperatures, and they do so by releasing moisture through the stomatal pores in the leaves. So that's how that works. So if you're somewhere where you're not getting enough rain, you're going to have to put down some irrigation. So where we are in Lanzarote, we do not get enough rain. It only receives about 100 millimeters a year, so that's 10 centimeters. You compare that to the UK, we get about a meter per year, so 10 times the amount. So at least here on Lanzarote or other places where you have long, hot, dry summers, you're going to need to put some irrigation down. It's not going to be enough water to sustain it. They can easily die from a lack of water. Just take note that if you are putting down irrigation pipework, make sure you do actually have a nozzle such as this, which is going to be at least, I mean, it's quite a long way away from that plant, but you know, put that nearer so it can actually get water from the irrigation pipe. I've seen too many plants where they put down the irrigation pipe and haven't actually put any nozzles in it. So you have plants surrounded by pipes, no water coming out of them, and then the plants are dying because whoever put in irrigation has done a terrible job. Just be aware of that one. regarding feeding, and they will take a feed, and why wouldn't you? They are quite slow growing anyway, but you know, feed them say once a fortnight, once a month during the growing period. Put down a liquid soluble fertilizer like Miracle-Gro. I still don't get any money from that, and but only during the growth period. So so if you're on a Canary Island in the Mediterranean, then they'll pretty much be growing all year round. If you're in the UK, you're probably only going to get about 8 months of a growing season. So really you're looking at about April to September, every fortnight, once a month, depending on how big the plant is. You know how it goes. Now as time goes on, you might want to consider thinking about cutting some of your fronds, either to remove dead ones, damaged ones, or just to reshape it so it looks quite nice. But there is a problem with that. When you start cutting these plants, they are very susceptible to Fusarium wilt, like I think I mentioned earlier. So when you're doing this, you need to make sure that you are not using dirty blades. You do not want to put a contaminated blade, cut the plant with it, because it's going to be in there and it's going to go rife. And Fusarium wilt over time, it's going to kill it. It's going to kill it. You're not going to be able to outgrow that thing. So whenever you're pruning these plants, always make sure you use sterilized blades, and if you can get hold of it, put it down like a wound seal that's got a fungicide and dab the end of those stalks to make sure that they are as safe as they can be. And that gives another problem. Any damaged fronds, whether you did it, the wind did it, the monster under the bed does it, as soon as you get damaged fronds or any sort of green growth on these plants, they release a stress chemical. That stress chemical is very attractive to the South American palm weevil, which is a big problem, and it's getting worse year on year. The problem with this plant is that the weevil will find it, it will get into the crown of the plant, it will start burrowing, it will damage the plant more, the plant will release more stress hormones, attracting more weevils. They'll all be in, they'll all be ripping it all apart. You know, in extreme cases it can kill the plant, or at least hold it back, or cause side shoots, so it changes the shape. It's an absolute nightmare. And then the trouble is, because you've got all this damaged open wounds, it then becomes susceptible again to secondary infections like funguses. You just don't want those, because it's going to kill it. You can spray for the South American palm weevil, but the trouble is, if you get big plants, how on earth are you going to get to it to spray it, or especially if it's like 60 foot in the air? So unless you've got a lot of technology that you can use, chances are you're not going to be able to do it. So if you're somewhere and people are talking about it, they know there's a problem, you've got palm weevil there, then whatever you do, don't start cutting into your plants. Just don't do it. And you could put down a remedial insecticide, but just research which insecticides are available in the country that you're watching this from, because if you may not have a license, and you could be get yourself in trouble if you're caught using a product you shouldn't be using. So that's quite important, especially that palm weevil. That's a big problem, and it's getting worse. And yeah. Just spray it, don't cut it. So there you have it. That is everything I believe I need to say on how to grow a Canary Island palm, Phoenix canariensis. I don't think I've forgotten anything, but if I have, if there's anything that I should have said that is important, then you are more than welcome to put that in the comments. We would love to hear from you. So before I go, if you enjoyed that, that's great. If you didn't enjoy it, well, thanks for watching it this far. You've done extremely well. Just one last thing from me, from the past, from a different country, no less. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description, you can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.